Hey guys, welcome back to another Pixel Starships video. I know it's been some time since I've last made a Pixel Starship video, so we'll be running through some of the key changes since the last few patches that has been released, a bit about the current meta of the game, and lastly about the huge tournament changes that are about to be rolled out in July. So let's get started. So first up, Pixel Starships has actually been released on Steam as of 1st of May 2020 and is currently in early access. This is really great for me because I don't really like playing on my phone nowadays because it somehow heats up my iPhone really badly and drains a ton of battery. So far the game runs pretty smoothly and seems pretty optimized for the PC. I much prefer playing it on Steam as compared to other platforms like BlueStacks. So next, the biggest change was actually the release of patch 0.950.2. So there was a major patch release in May which saw the introduction of level 12 ships. You can now improve the max level of your ship from 11, which means that most of your ship's rooms, which were previously capped in terms of their level, can now be upgraded to be stronger as well. With level 12 ships, you get a new room called the Super Weapon Room. This room is pretty unique, quite similar to the cannon rooms, where it takes a lot of energy and time to charge it up, but once they do, they fire a devastating blast, which is this huge flash of light where it hits the enemy ship. Instead of focusing on one room, this super weapon will actually deal a great amount of damage to all the rooms and crew on board the enemy ship. So it's very good, and I think you should get it if you hit level 12. I think to make the most out of it, you should actually time the firing of this super weapon when the enemy ship's shields are down, so that it will actually deal the most damage to the rooms and the crew of the ship. So in terms of the current meta, I don't think the super weapons actually changes it significantly, despite it being a really good room to have. I think among the top 50 ships, there's still a mix between teleport rush and gunships. The only difference is that the top players have the best crew and equipment. Speaking of crew, there are some changes to the crew lineup, in these top ships, which actually includes the use of about 2 to 5 galactic sprites, which seems to be what the top ships are actually currently running. So as you can see here, why they are so good is mostly due to their run speed, which is currently at 3. Which means they can actually get to rooms very quickly across the entire ship and start repairing them. They have great HP, great repair, and also have the freeze ability, which makes them superb defenders. Against a teleport strat, this is a fantastic counter, and it's really hard to beat. So another big news that will hit us this month is in the upcoming patch, which will see new tournament rules be put in place for the month of July. So let's go over some of the changes. So firstly, there's now a dedicated button for you to select if you want to match up exclusively for tournament battles, which is actually different from the regular PvP battles. Clicking on this tournament button will actually cycle you through ships that you can pick and choose to fight an opponent and obtain stars from the fight. Do note that every day you can only take part in a maximum of 5 tournament battles. Cycling through the ships does not count unless you click fight. In tournaments, you won't lose any health, trophies or resources, so it's like a separate system altogether. Tournament battles will actually ignore the standard immunity, which are the ones that players can activate as a buff for like 8 or 24 hours. However, online immunity will still apply, and when a defending ship is attacked, they cannot be attacked again for another 2 hours. So do note that you can only attack the same ship once per tournament, which means you can't constantly attack the same low level ship over and over again. Also, you can't attack the same fleet more than once a day. Now to share some of my thoughts on this. In general, I think these changes are fantastic and much needed in the PSS community today. Why I say so is because of 2 main reasons. Firstly, it creates a much more level playing field for all players and fleets. And secondly, it benefits the player with huge quality of life changes. If you have been playing the game for some time now, you would know that the top fleet is actually Hydra, and they completely dominate the tournaments every month. After playing for more than a year, I've only witnessed twice where they were given a run for their money for the top spot. And that meant pulling the top captains from all the other fleets, combining them to build a super fleet just to compete with Hydra. And even so, they did not manage to win. So every other month is pretty much a walkover for them. And the reason for this is because they recruit the top captains whom have really no life but to just search for ships to PvP all day, every day for the entire week. Some ships can get up to a few thousand stars, which equates to hundreds of PvP battles, and is definitely not something that a casual can compete with. With the new tournament changes, they can't do that anymore, or at least they are kept to 5 fights a day. This means that other fleets with captains that can only play for a limited time each day can easily get in their 5 attacks and contribute significantly to the tournament stars for their fleet. Moreover, with the limit of attacking 1 ship per tournament, Hydra will not have a monopoly over ships with stars during the entire course of the tournament, meaning they can't put ships in constant immunity, leaving very little ships for the rest of us to fight. As for the second major point, which are the improved quality of life changes, I just want to say that these are amazing and makes me want to become more active and participate in tournaments again. Honestly, I was getting quite irritated whenever I wanted to play the game and log in to hunt for some stars. I had to spend 10 minutes constantly searching for a tournament ship with stars to fight, only to find low level ships or super tough opponents which are from Hydra that I can't win. So for someone who only have 30 minutes to play a day, I think the new rules really benefit them quite a lot, since you can just log in, immediately get going on your 5 attacks, and still contribute significantly to the tournament. So with all these changes, would this topple Hydra's reign? Well, I think it's still difficult to say for sure, right? Until we experience the changes ourselves later this month. But I think this is definitely a step in the right direction by making the game more competitive and engaging for players despite your ship level. So to conclude this video, as some of you who have watched my previous videos would already know, I make Pixel Starship videos mainly to help new players get into the game and enjoy the process of leveling up and building a strong ship. So if there's any particular content that you're interested in, do leave it in the comments and I'll try to cover it. Also, do leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps support me in making new content. Thanks, and I hope you found the video useful, and see you in the next one.